If you want to parent your teens well, it isn't just about using the right parenting strategies. Of course, some parenting strategies work better than others. But being a successful parent is about having the right parenting philosophy. And you develop the right parenting philosophy by asking the right questions. I've been working with teens and parents of teens for over a decade. So I've observed the things that successful parents of teens do differently. Based on these observations, I've come up with a list of 6 questions that all successful parents of teens ask themselves. Here's the first question. Do I want what is good for my teens or what is best? This question is inspired by a speech that Professor Charles Whelan delivered at Dartmouth College. It's natural for parents to encourage their teens to go down the safe, predictable, and practical path. Parents do this because they don't want their teens to experience uncertainty or discomfort. This is the good path, but is it the best path? In most cases, no. The best path is usually the one that's full of challenges, obstacles, and disappointments. It's probably also the path that's full of failures and mistakes. Successful parents distinguish between what is good and what is best, and continually encourage their teens to choose what is best. I'm Daniel Wong, and I specialize in helping teens to thrive. Let's move on to the second question that successful parents of teens ask themselves. Do I speak to my teens as if they have a destiny? We don't talk about having a sense of destiny very often. So let me explain by using this example. Let's say your teenage son does something bad. He steals something from a convenience store. How would most parents react? Many parents would say something like this to him. How could you do something like that? You're so dishonest. I didn't raise you to be a criminal. You're going to be grounded for a long time. On the other hand, successful parents would say something more along the lines of this. I'm surprised you would do something like this. You're usually so honest and responsible. I would never have expected you to do this. There will be consequences because you did the wrong thing and broke the law. But this is really unlike you. Teens have a strange way of becoming what others' view of them is, especially their parents. So try to focus on the positive picture of who your teens can become. Speak to them as if they have a destiny. Talk to them about how their lives have a bigger purpose. Encourage them to focus more on contribution and less on achievement. And show them by your example what it means to live a life that is centered on values and principles. Question number 3. Am I trying to make my teens successful so that I will feel successful? It's hard to measure your success as a parent. This explains why many parents subconsciously decide that they'll measure their own success by how successful their teens are. This can be unhealthy because parents can force their own definition of success on their teens. Successful parents don't let their ego get in the way of their teens' development. They understand that being a successful parent is about principles and values, not about how accomplished their teens become. They're fully aware that looking successful is different from being successful. Looking successful is about prioritizing what is measurable, like grades and medals and prestigious schools. On the other hand, being successful is about prioritizing what is meaningful, like purpose and contribution and kindness. It isn't a bad thing to look successful, but we need to make sure that we're prioritizing what matters most in the long run. Question number 4. Do I recognize that I'm responsible to my teens and not for them? Parents often think they're responsible for their teens. They feel as if they're responsible for their teens' academic performance, behavior, etc. But no, parents are only responsible to their teens. Parents are responsible to their teens by giving them unconditional love and support and a healthy home environment. But teens are responsible for their own choices and lives. Successful parents recognize that they aren't responsible for their teens. So these parents don't carry a burden they were never meant to carry. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please click the like button. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos about helping teens to thrive. Question number 5. Do I model the behavior that I want my teens to display? The renowned writer Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Your actions speak so loudly, I cannot hear what you are saying." This quote applies to your relationship with your teens too. You might encourage your teens to be curious and to love learning. But have you been reading books, watching documentaries, or learning new skills? Or you might tell your teens to be less distracted and to spend less time on their devices. But have you been managing your own screen time well? Are you fully present whenever you're with family, or do you find yourself frequently checking your phone? I'm definitely not a perfect role model for my 3 children. But as parents, it's important for us to periodically reflect on whether we're being hypocritical in any way. Question number 6. Do I focus more on what my teens do or on who they're becoming? This anonymous quote sums it up. Many succeed momentarily by what they know. Some succeed temporarily by what they do. Few succeed permanently by what they are. Successful parents empower their teens to pursue permanent success. They do this by focusing on character, commitment, contribution, community, compassion, and courage. These are the kinds of values that permanent success is made of. After all, teens don't rise to the level of their potential. They sink to the level of their values. Now you know the questions you need to ask to develop the right parenting philosophy. But here's a more practical question for you. Is it hard to get your teenager to listen to you? If so, check out this free quick action guide I've written. It's entitled 10 Proven Ways to Get Your Teenager to Listen to You. Visit daniel-wong.com/guide to download the guide. I've also included the download link in the description. And if you haven't seen this other video about the decisions that parents of teens always regret, you'll want to check it out. In the video, you'll learn about the 6 common decisions parents make which they always regret down the road. You'll find this video useful, so watch it next.